Nolan's in the lineup tonight, Gerardo's in the lineup tonight. Nothing will affect that.
No, they probably got this news, the players did anyway, shortly after lunch or mid-afternoon, so they knew it a little bit. They're already in the planning stages of deciding if and when they're going to appeal these.
Well, here's what Nolan had to say to the media late this afternoon.
You know, 5 games, a lot of games, and I'm just defending myself. It's hard not to react a certain way when you know someone's trying to do something on purpose, but it is what it is. Obviously, if like I said, 5 games, I mean, you're not going out there. You don't want to, charge them. You don't want to fight. That's not why we're playing this game. But 96 at you on purpose can frustrate, I think, a lot of people. So.
And here's the deal. I understand Nolan's perspective on it, 1,000%, 96 at you. You're going to go protect yourself. But I also understand Major League Baseball cannot, have brawls on the field, and therefore there has to be a penalty.
Yeah, there is, and this is kind of what you thought the number might be. You thought maybe it would be 4 games because that's what Bryce Harper got, and he charged the mound against Hunter Strickland and the Giants. But this thing went on for a long time. There was punches being thrown. We saw Austin with the Yankees get 5 games for charging the mound. Kelly for Boston got 6 games, a pitcher, so you're thinking maybe Perdomo would get 6 games. But I think what's going to happen now is that you'll have Nolan appeal this, and he'll probably get knocked down a game. I think you'll get Gerardo to appeal it and get knocked down a game. And folks, if you're wondering at home, no, Major League Baseball cannot, no matter what happens, have both these guys serving at the same time.
Right, because you can't call somebody up to replace him. You will be a man short on the days where Nolan is unavailable. They stagger it. That is what you're alluding to. And the other thing is the club will be strategic in when these guys serve it eventually. So all of that still to come, still to be determined. We are ready for baseball. The Rockies look to make it 2 straight here at our nation's capital. It's Colorado, it's Washington. Come on back to D.C. with us. So welcome to Nationals Park. The Rockies and Nationals playing game 2 of a 4-game set. Yesterday, the Rockies won 5-1. Chad Bettis was outstanding on the hill. And the Rockies' leadoff hitter is always outstanding, whether it's Charlie Blackmon or this guy, DJ LeMahieu. And he takes a fastball up and in from Tanner Roark. Ball 1, and we're underway. It is beautiful out.
It is as nice as we've seen here in a long time. It's not too humid. The wind's blowing a little bit. Ball was jumping during batting practice today, folks, and we'll have to just keep an eye on that, because there's that 70-degree mark is what they say here. If it's below 70, less home runs are hit, and if it's above 70, it's about a half to 3/4 on average. I know I can't hit 3/4 of a home run. On average, more a home run per game. So it goes up about 2.75 to 2 home runs. For Tanner Roark, 3rd start of the year, and he was bit by the long ball in his last start. In fact, it was a grand slam off the bat of Adrian Gonzalez after he walked 3 guys. That's what got him in trouble.
You know, it's interesting when you look at his numbers. He's given up only 1 hit in 2 starts to right-handed batters. Righty so far 1 for 16 against Roark, who is unheralded probably nationally. He's overshadowed by the Scherzers and Strasburgs and Gio Gonzalez's, but you look at this guy's numbers, he's been very good by and large the last few years. DJ got this one in the air. Michael Taylor waiting in center field, 1 out. Here's the Southwest batting order tonight. And again, with Charlie out of there, things have been reshuffled a little bit. Gerardo Parra against the righty will bat second. Then Nolan Cargo bats cleanup against right-handed hitters, or right-handed pitchers. Chris Iannetta will bat in the 5 spot because he has swung it so well. Desmond Story, McMahon getting a start at first base, and then Kyle Freeland. 1 out. Here's Gerardo.
For Charlie, he was out running early today, so he's getting close to coming back, which is good news.
This is in the air to left field. Howie Kendrick is out there tonight, 2 gone. Let's take a look at the Nationals defensively. We'll focus on their catcher. That is Pedro Severino getting the start. He's done a good job for them. In fact, they designated for assignment Miguel Montero recently. Kendrick, mostly a second baseman. We saw him play out there with the Dodgers in left field. Of course, Howie made an error last night that cost Washington a run in the 1st inning. Didn't catch a pop-up off the bat of Ian Desmond.
2nd start for Howie Kendrick for the Nationals in left field this year.
Way off the plate to Nolan, ball 1. Nolan in his career at .316 batting average against Nationals pitching,
including 6 home runs.
1 for 7 lifetime against Roark. So, you know, we talk about, as we said, the big 3 with Washington. Roark, I mean, look at his numbers. Last year was an okay year, but he was 13-11. 2 years ago, he won 16 games with the Nationals and had a .283 ERA. He's had a sub-3 ERA on a couple of occasions in his career.
Yeah, and he's also won over 13 ball games in 2014. So that's 3 years out of 4 that he's won 13 or more games. And that other year, he was in the bullpen. So then they decided, wait a second, let's move him back into the rotation.
1-2, and that's lined foul. He's 17 games over 500 in his career. And another number that jumps out at me about Roark, he has a career mark of 119 when it comes to whip. Walks plus hits per inning pitched. The major league average is 1.3 typically.
Yeah, and 113 games started in the major leagues. And we saw some numbers just a moment ago for Tanner with his fastball. It's 91, but talking to the guys and scouts, it plays up. So it might show up at 91 or 92, but the way it comes out of his hand, it registers in your mind about 94, 95.
2-2.
But his pitch is the slider, to the glove side in particular. That's where he gets all the swing and misses. That's where he tries to live. There's not much arm side action for Tanner.
Well, that was a glove side slider that was too much glove side, so it's 3-2. 2 outs, nobody on, just underway. I was talking to Nolan before the ball game today and asked him, I said, it appears from our vantage point up here that you're not getting anything middle in. And he said, you know, they are pitching me away. He said, but I've had some pitches to hit. He goes, my responsibility to hit them. That's, you know, that's Nolan not making an excuse. But they have tried to wear him out away, and that's why he's had a lot of base hits to right so far.
And that's hard, though. As a hitter, when you start to think away, your natural tendency is to have your upper half start to lean out over the plate. So you start to bend at the waist a little bit more. So when they come in, it's hard to then get straightened back up. And you see Nolan lean back like that. He's trying to make sure his back stays straight and stay through the ball. If you get the tilt, that's when you get in trouble. I just enjoy watching him so much, even, you know, around the cage, even when he grabs his bat, when he first walks out there. Everything is about his swing and getting that top hand through.
This will be the 10th pitch of the at-bat. And Nolan wins it. Roark said, I'm not throwing him another fastball.
When this is what the Rockies did to Gio Gonzalez last night. That's why he got out of there after throwing 5 innings, but it was 106 pitches through those 5. He said after the game that they were fouling off pitches, tough pitches. As he said in his words, they were spitting on pitches, meaning if it's real close, they were letting it go.
So Cargo steps up, couple home runs so far. He's 1 for 5 lifetime against Roark. He was 0 for 4 in last night's game.
That was his curveball. Throws it about 14% of the time.
The league, again, early returns, just 1 for 22 against his off-speed stuff.
And that one hit came on a curveball. He has not given up a hit on a slider or a changeup on the season. And as you said, it's early. It's 12 innings in, 12 2/3 to be exact right now.
This is popped up, shallow center field. Trey Turner raising his hand. He'll make the play, and that's all for the Rockies in the first. Kyle Freeland has the baseball tonight. We'll see him next.
Hockey shirts just looking and seeing some sights. Well, For the Win is brought to you by Pizza Ranch. And yes, I know we're in the nation's capital. It might be a little corny, but let Freeland ring, please. Let him get his first W. 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 3 earned runs in his last start against the Padres. The 2 of the 3 runs came in back-to-back home runs. And I think that's been the part right now for Kyle that he's been hurt on. 4 home runs, 3 of them have come with 2 outs.
And a few of them with 2
2
strikes.
strikes too, yes.
Here's Trey Turner. Rockies kept him quiet last night. Fastball's outside, ball 1. Nolan getting the legs loose, though. The game time temperature close to 80 degrees. Last night it was 74 at first pitch, which made it 22 degrees warmer than in any previous first pitch so far this year in DC. Been a chilly spring in a lot of ports in Major League Baseball. I think that's also one of the reasons, Huey, that the numbers offensively so far are down.
Yeah, definitely. Because think about when the season started. It started just a little bit earlier. So you see the numbers for Kyle this year, 5.56 ERA. Only 4 walks and 11 strikeouts. Stay up. Oh, yeah.
Parra, what a catch by Gerardo. We're watching it up high, and I'm seeing the ball in the air. Can he get there? Can he get there? Parra makes another dazzling play.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter where you put him, either in left field or right field. And this is a perfectly timed dive for Gerardo. Ball was squared up pretty nicely by Trey Turner, and then it had some sink on it right at the end. Yeah, Kyle, you should like it.
And remember who's running, Huey. That's a double.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because Trey Turner with his speed, it's a double. You have to keep him off the bases.
Here's Anthony Rendon, and he gets a good slider on the back door for strike 1.
That's a good early sign for Kyle to get the control of that slider. Not only backdoor, that way you can use it later on to go to that back foot.
Rendon 0 for 4. A lot of 0-fers last night against Chad Bettis in the Rockies' pen. This ball lined, and it's foul. Only 4 hits for the Nationals last night.
That's a season low for them.
You look at that lineup, even without Murphy in it, understand that, and even without Adam Eaton, it's still a really talented offensive club.
And Michael Taylor had a hit. One of the 4. Kyle Freeland on the year. We've talked about his fastball, cutter, change. We've seen a few curveballs in there, but not enough to get it onto the graphic.
Top 4 in the order last night, in fact, for Washington, 0 for 15. And Rendon fouls that off. Freeland continues to work ahead, 2 strikes.
I was going to say Michael Taylor had a hit. Sierra had a hit off the bench last night. Howie Kendrick and Matt Adams. The rest, big zeros.
Dave Martinez, your old teammate. First-year skipper of the Nationals. They've gone through some managers here. Like yesterday, Matt Williams was their manager.
Well, before that, Davey Johnson. Then after that, I mean, when you go to the playoffs and don't win, it's going to get you fired. Frank Robinson. I remember Frank when I was with the Orioles. He was around.
And Frank first managed the Cleveland Indians.
Wealth of baseball knowledge.
You think?
It was fun to pick his brain.
I used to see, when I was doing the Nuggets, and the Nuggets would play the Lakers, Frank was a regular there. I think he still attends a lot of Laker games. I believe he lives still in the LA area. MVP in both leagues. 1-2 on Rendon. Good piece the last month in Avid Golfer magazine, which is a great publication, and Kyle was on the cover. Tremendous golfer at Thomas Jefferson. He still likes to play a ton. Changeup. Kyle's basically scratch. He's the leader, literally, in the Rockies clubhouse.
But here's the deal: everybody knows it, so he can't sandbag.
No, he can't.
No. Plus, he's a pitcher. Got it.
See ya.
Oh my! That
was a hard cutter or slider in.
That was just missed by Ron Kolpa. And watch Chris flinch too, because he's ready to throw it down to third. Wait. Oh wait. No. Ball 3.
That's high. So a walk to Rendon with 1 out. Take a look at the Southwest batting order this evening for Washington. Bryce Harper will be next, then Ryan Zimmerman. Howie Kendrick will hit 5th. Michael Taylor moves up from the 8th spot, actually 9th spot last night. Wilmer Defoe, Pedro Severino, and the pitcher will hit 9th for Dave Martinez this evening. Last night, the pitcher was Gio Gonzalez, and he hit 8th.
I think tomorrow and the next day with Strasburg and Scherzer that'll hit those guys 9th.
Harper an 0 for last night. He fanned twice on beautiful changeups thrown by Chad Bettis. He had great command of his changeup last night. Great movement on it. In fact, I was chatting with Chad in the clubhouse today, and I said, that thing had splitter movement. And Chad is such a studious guy. He said, you know, when you look at the spin rates and the depth of that pitch, he said it really is more of a splitter.
Well,
he doesn't throw it like a splitter,
no,
but it has the action of a splitter.
Well, however you throw it, keep throwing it that way.
Yeah.
It was off the charts last night for Chad.
Boy, was he ever good.
No.
Been good all year. Here's the 0-1. In the air on the infield. Story waiting. Battles
wind up there.
Evidently 2 outs. Here's the Rockies defensively. Well, we'll show you graphically in a moment how the Rockies align with the gloves tonight. 2 outs. Ryan Zimmerman steps up, off to a real slow start. He has just 4 hits so far this year. Keep this guy quiet.
Yeah, that's okay. Keep him at 4 hits. 4 for 39.
Peter at 92 for a strike.
And that's where Kyle will pitch, but he can go get 94.
Good pitch too, just inside, 1-1. See that late life, late movement, late cut on that fastball.
Right-handers this year are hitting 250 off of Kyle. Left-handers, surprisingly, are hitting higher at 333.
Yeah, that's an early season number.
It is.
This ball is to the left side, a base hit. Zimmerman pushes Rendon to second, and that'll bring up Kendrick. Now Kendrick, unlike Ryan Zimmerman, is actually off to a terrific start. He has the 6th best batting average in the National League entering play tonight.
Kendrick has 15 hits, 7 extra base hits. That's just a pro's pro. Signed a 2-year deal with Washington.
12 years now in the big leagues for Howie Kendrick. Good pickup by the Nationals. Mike Rizzo did some nice things around the All-Star break. He had to shore up the bullpen, and he did that, getting Kinsler and Madsen and Doolittle. Foul ground. McMahon Doesn't have a play. Too
And
many
this-
obstacles
well,
to overrun.
I was going to say that because this is a really interesting kind of foul area, because you'll have the dugout, then you have another walkway that goes out along the warning track, but then it juts back in. And you can see it right by that MLB Network sign. It goes back probably another 4 or 5 feet. Much better look there. And that's what Ryan was having to battle with.
1-1 on Howie Kendrick. 2-1. It was 94. But the other move they made was picking up Howie Kendrick at the trade deadline. 2 on, 2 outs. That's 3-1.
You got to be careful here with Howie. .349, 6 RBIs. But these are the situations that he lives for.
This is a cutter count, typically, for Freeland.
I like that pitch. Try to induce a weak ground ball.
A little more straight fastball
That was
in.
93. Now we got the barrel out.
So the runners will be off 3-2. Rendon walked. He's at second. Zimmerman, a base hit. He is at first base. 2 outs, 3-2 on Howie Kendrick. We're in the bottom of the first, scoreless. We're going to try to keep it that way. And he will. Slider strikes out Howie Kendrick. Beautiful pitch at a key time. We'll go to the second, no score. Is brought to you by the 2018 Toyota Tundra in your hometown Toyota stores, and by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Welcome back to our nation's capital. We go to inning number 2, Nationals Park. Plenty of Rockies fans mingling with Nationals fans, and you know what? See, the two can live harmoniously. Chris Iannetta fouls off the first pitch.
Many happy Nationals fans leaving the ballpark last night. But as I said, I ran into a few today doing some sightseeing around town, and they were at the game last night. A couple that was enjoying a anniversary trip. They had a good time last night.
I had somebody come up to me at lunch today. So there are a lot of Rockies fans who are traveling. We see this now on a regular basis around the country. 0-2, and the breaking ball's fouled off. I think the universe of Rockies fans, I mean, it's a silver anniversary season, 26 years now on the field. It's getting larger and larger.
Yes,
naturally
it is.
by the season. One and two.
See that pitch at the top of the Subaru strike zone. And for Roark, he doesn't like to work down in the zone like a lot of pitchers do now. He'll work up.
Yeah, that was a good pitch. That was that slider.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I mean, perfectly spotted on the Subaru strike zone. If you were to lay the ball out there, that's where you'd want to put it.
This is his bread and butter pitch. A lot of depth on it, and as you described earlier, that was glove side.
Yeah, and first in all of baseball on the glove side with the slider. Again, Ian Desmond did a warm reception.
I don't think people realize, maybe in Colorado, just how popular Ian was in Washington. Not only, I mean, he was an all-star shortstop here, middle of the order hitter, but also, as you well know, Huey, because you went out on with him recently, what he did in the community.
I think that's what endeared him. His baseball, sure, because I've seen plenty of Desmond jerseys around here, and for the Washington Nationals, he had 264, 110 home runs, 432 RBIs, but it was help establish a baseball academy here. It was to help kids all over the city. And I think that's what, it was fun. I had an opportunity to go with him on Thursday to the baseball academy here, just to interact with some of the kids, but the people that are running the academy.
This is hit to shallow right, and Defoe goes out and makes the catch. And when Ian gets involved in something, he immerses himself in that project. It's not, you know, for photo ops or something like that. That's just not who he is.
No, he definitely gives back.
2 outs, Trevor Story at the plate. Trevor 1 for 4 lifetime against Roark. That one was a home run. Curveball missed, and it's 1-0. Rockies have won 3 straight out on the road. They're 5-3 so far this year on the road. Last year, just their second winning season away from home, went 41-40. Trey Turner's got it, and Roark goes 1-2-3 through the Rockies lineup in the second.
Kyle Freeland on the mound. One of the things that Kyle's really been working on has been the development of his curveball. It's something that Bud Black's talked at length about, creating that differential in speed. And one of the things that I've noticed is his cutter and his changeup have very similar velocities. They're right around 87, 88 miles an hour. So for him to implement that curveball, what it does, and I always contend this is one of the best things for pitchers to do, is have multiple breaking pitches of different varying velocities that have similar release points. And for Kyle, if he adds the curveball, it's going to make it so much harder on the hitter to tell exactly which off-speed pitch he's throwing. Huey, you can talk a little bit more about that, but when you see a cutter, a slider, and a curveball all moving with greater depth, it's so much more difficult.
Right, and I think that's the key for him, is to make sure that there's just something where you're 8 to 12 miles an hour different off the fastball. Because right now you don't quite get that. You get about 5 to 7 between the fastball and the slider or the cutter. I know Steve Foster and Darren Holmes and Bud, they're working their tail off doing this, but it's hard to implement at times during the season. That's what the off season's for, and that's what spring training is. And I know Kyle worked hard on it, and just finding that comfort level.
How is that not strike three?
Well, that's twice now.
How is that not strike three?
That's twice now.
That was center
right.
cut.
Think about
right
Anthony,
at the knees.
Anthony Rendon. You'd see just a perplexed look on Bud's face.
I mean,
Rendon should have been struck out.
You got to get rewarded on a pitch like that.
Yeah, Michael Taylor should have been struck out.
And he is now.
That's strike 4, actually, Michael.
Yeah, he was out. He was out a couple times. I hate, being that guy who always complains, but I mean you can't miss that pitch.
No, when you're preaching, if you're gonna miss a pitch, maybe I understand missing the one that's up, but how many times we even sit up here and say, hey, you got to work down in the zone. You got to work down in the zone, and when the pitcher does, umpires should be accustomed to those guys down there.
You want to speed up the games? Call pitches strikes. Wilmer Defoe at the plate. And listen, Ron Culp is a great umpire. I'm not trying to give him a hard, but that one was.
There is a lot of truth to your last statement.
One 0 on Defoe, and that is just foul.
Defoe pinch hit last night. Left-handed last night, struck out.
He's getting a lot of time with the injury to Daniel Murphy. Still a couple of weeks away from coming back. Murphy didn't get hurt in spring training. He had off-season knee surgery right after right after they were eliminated by the Cubs in that Game 5. Boy, that loss really stung the Nationals. They had Scherzer on the hill.
So last night you made the comment about the Nationals not being able to get over the hump. Okay, they didn't do it. The 3 times they went to the playoffs, they'd always lose. So Dave Martinez this spring training went out and got a camel, brought it to spring training.
I get it.
Get it? Boy, that's
just vicious. That is a hard slider down and in, and that is 3 strikeouts in a row for one Kyle Freeland.
Defoe didn't even come close to that pitch. Hey fans, you want to join in on the conversation? Well, you can send us your thoughts, comments, and photos on Twitter using the hashtag ToyotaTalk. And join the conversation.
Here's Pedro Severino. His play, again, made Miguel Montero expendable. I wonder if the Mets are going to call Miguel Montero.
I think they will. They lost another catcher. They lost Travis d'Arnaud to an elbow injury where it might have to be Tommy John surgery.
Paul Wecky went down.
Paul Wecky, yeah. Fracture in his, his wrist, hand? Something that's not good when you say fracture before that body part.
And actually, the guy who was called up for the Mets, Nationals fans know very well, Jose Lobaton, who's a backup here. for several years. 2-0 on Severino. See if you can do that 2-0. You're really going to be effective.
Well, you have to be able to do that. Kyle's shown that he has that mindset too, that it's okay to throw a 2-0 off-speed pitch.
2 balls, 2 strikes. He's got good late action on that slider.
Tell.
See you later, Peter, 94. What an inning. He strikes out Taylor, Depot, and Severino. In the case of Taylor, he got him twice.
Here's our high-speed CenturyLink challenge question tonight. Okay, it's Friday the 13th. It's also Drew's birthday, but which of the following superstitions do you most practice? A, never walk under a ladder. B, throw salt over your shoulder. C, don't step on a crack because you might break your mother's back. No, that I just ad-libbed that one. Or D, never open an umbrella inside, Drew.
A couple of these I'm perplexed on. Well, like you walk around with salt in your hand, and every once in a while you have an urge to throw it over your shoulder, but you don't do it. You resist the urge. And how often do you have like an umbrella in your hand when you're indoors?
Well, if you have an umbrella in your hand and it's raining outside, you'll have it indoors. And so you when you go outside, you open it up.
Oh, I see. So you open it up in preparation.
And the salt is if you're sitting at the dinner table and you spill some. It's not like you're carrying a salt shaker in your back pocket.
I don't subscribe to any of those, and especially, I guess, being a guy that deals with Friday the 13th as a birthday periodically. So,
well, make sure you go to AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to cast your vote. We'll show you the results during our post-game show.
What was the most popular museum last night? Ryan McMahon grounds out. What was the most popular destination for people? Do we know? Was it air and space? My guess was it was air and space.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. I agree with you. Never step on the foul. I didn't do that. I would jump over it.
I'm with that one. See?
Yeah.
I agree.
You understand that one? Okay.
Yeah. I don't believe in stepping on the foul line. I'll step on a crack on the sidewalk, though. I won't go Jack Nicholson on you. How good was that movie? As good as it gets.
Yes.
It was as good as it gets.
Right? Oh,
that's how good it was. It's as good as it gets.
You're still witty on your birthday.
With a lousy voice. 1 ball, 1 strike on Freeland. One of my favorite lines. What did Jack go? I look like $1 million and you showed up in a house coat. And they're going out to dinner. Kyle's at bat doesn't last long. Roark with his second strikeout, and that'll bring up DJ. We're going to take a look at tonight's big hit. It's brought to you by Mako, and to do that, we flash back to last night. Take your choice. Home run in the first, and DJ would have a double. He'd have another home run later in the ball game, and he almost hit a third. His last double was off the wall in center field. 12 total bases. It's happened 25 times in Rockies history.
Well, DJ has 37 total bases on the year, which leads the National League.
Just the third time a Rockies player has had 2 homers and 2 doubles in a game. The other 2 guys, can you name them? We were talking, Huey, about one of those guys last night, and we had brought up his name in a long time.
2 home runs and 2 doubles in a game. Oh, did we mention his name last night?
We did.
Jeff Cirillo.
No, not Jeff Cirillo.
Because he was one of the guys we were
I was talking
about.
about this guy because he's working in the broadcast booth now in the SEC.
Oh, Todd Walker.
Todd Walker is one. And a guy we're going to see on Monday. Giving you enormous hints.
Yes, you are.
In the interest of time. Corey Dickerson's now on your screen. If you need another hint.
Wait, oh, I can open my eyes now?
You can open your eyes now. You're not at the plate anymore,
okay.
you.
Right.
2-1. That's down the line foul. I'm sorry, dude.
That's what it felt like sometimes when I go up there and swing.
That was low-hanging fruit.
That was easy. That was easy. What hasn't been easy for opposing pitchers is getting DJ out.
No.
It's been a chore. Even if they do, it makes you work for it.
40th pitch, 2-2 with 2 outs. And this is in the air to deep left center, but it's caught out there by Kendrick. So 7 in a row set down now by Roark, but Kyle Freeland has been just as tough. Freeland will face Tanner Roark, and then Trey Turner and Anthony Rendon. Roark hits it sharply right at DJ LeMay. He has to pause for a moment to allow Ryan McMahon to get to the bag, and he's hit that hard. 1 out.
I like that 1 pitch, 1 out.
Corey, your mic's open, right? We got you downstairs?
I think it is now.
There you go. We had this conversation late last night, Sully. You played both here and RFK, right?
Yes.
Tell us about playing the outfield here, because there's a lot of nooks and crannies.
There are a lot of nooks and crannies, specifically in left center field, but I always found that the ball flew better to right center field. So anytime I shaded, whether it was a right-handed hitter or a left-handed hitter on the second base side of second base, I tended to play a little bit deeper. I just felt like the ball flew a little further. RFK, you remember, it was that old school type of dome feeling. And I still remember that where that Frank Howard home run was. Up in the upper deck there, and thinking to myself, you could hit a golf ball with a driver and not get it there. I didn't feel like the ball flew at all there.
You know what, Corey? That seat was in center field, and I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating. Guys could take BP at second base and not hit it that far.
No, there was. I wish I had a rangefinder back then so you could go and actually shoot the distance, because I felt like it was 700 feet.
So do you think that was further, or Galarraga's ball in Miami?
Well, I haven't seen video evidence of Howard's ball, so I'm going to go with that if it actually occurred.
With Howard's ball, is
Yeah,
what you're saying.
I mean, it is so ridiculous.
I agree. Listen, by where the two chairs are, and Galarraga hit his like 4 miles, where Ryan Howard's is, it's like in a different country. Frank Howard. Ryan Howard may be able to hit it that far also.
Hondo.
1-2. Trey Turner takes that 2-2. So, Corey, one more note about outfield play. You're terrific outfielders, everybody knows. Did you literally, like in golf, pick up some blades of grass, throw it up in the air to determine wind, or did you look at the flags up higher?
I picked up grass every single hitter, I would say, at least once. You have to judge the wind for yourself. You know, trusting flags when they get inside stadiums, the wind can swirl, so you really have to trust where you are. I think we've already seen a couple different times. Obviously, yesterday, Kendrick misplayed that pop-up, and we've seen the ball come back. It seems like once it gets above the stadium here, it starts to move towards the outfield.
3-2, and that's fouled off by Turner.
I think that's a good piece of advice when you're talking to kids. Well, it's hard to say, well, watch the ball because it's going to right field, but if you throw the grass up, it gives them that good visual to say which way the wind's blowing.
Yeah, always trust your eyes, I think.
Another 3-2, and McMahon giving chase, and again, we'll run out of room. You know, the Rockies struggled with walks. Their starting pitchers the first week of the season, but they're doing a much better job. First 9 games, they struggled, you see. Last 5, just 7 walks among the rotation. So that's a walk rate of 2.3 over 9 innings, which if you maintain anywhere close to that for the season, that'd be unbelievable. Steve Foster'd be smiling.
Right. He's telling him the same thing.
This ball's well hit center field, and it's over the head of Ian Desmond. Turner into second with a double. Now, this is where it gets interesting. And both you and Corey were base stealers. Turner with a lefty and 1 out is going to be looking for an opportunity to run. Here's the double again.
Yeah, and that ball was up. They wanted it down. It got belt high. He takes it off the bottom portion of the wall out there, but the Subaru Supermo, see, that didn't have the bite and depth to it. Just kind of spun up there. Kyle knew it immediately, but Drew, to your point, now with the lefty, it's going to be up to DJ to try to keep him close. So DJ's a step away, kind of, he'll pat his glove. Just all you're hoping to do in that point is to keep him from getting that running, walking lead to go to third base. If he's going to steal it, you hope it's from a dead stop. Trey Turner has 5 stolen bases on the year. 5 for 5.
That's outside on Rendon. Now it's 2-0.
He's also at 84.3% stolen base in his career. 86 for 102.
We talked about it yesterday. He missed a lot of time with the broken wrist last season. He still stole 46 bags in 98 games. Primarily does not figure to go here on a 2-0 count. be a pitch around to set up a force with 1 out. You have Harper on deck. You're not usually in a hurry to face Bryce Harper in any situation, but again, if you can get a ground ball, if he does in fact lose Rendon, double play gets you out of it. 3-1 could be an action pitch. DJ's right in his pocket, man.
That's as close as you can be, too. I mean, you can't be standing on the bag. You got to kind of jockey with him back and forth.
Not going, ball 4. The first and second, 1 out. A scoreless game in the bottom of the 3rd. Ionetta will discuss strategy right now with Freeland. Harper is 0 for his last 16 against the Rockies with 7 strikeouts. He popped to short in the first inning. That's the good news. The bad news is he's leading the National League in slugging percentage the first couple of weeks of the season at .714. Unlike playing out west, the Nationals don't see a ton of left-handers. This is just the 3rd lefty they've seen to start a game. The Rockies have already seen 8.
Yeah, and they haven't even played the Dodgers yet, who have 4 in their starting rotation.
That's a great point. 0-1 on Harper. Now to keep Trey Turner close, it's the job of Story. It's a little easier on the battery right now because Chris Ionetta, if he did go, has an open side.
Well, and with Harper too, I just don't see Turner going.
Just missed. Good location from Kyle Freeland. Well, he's given up some home runs, 4 of them that have hurt Kyle. Felt like he had good stuff in both of his outings. But his buddy was saying before the ball game, it's that fastball that wanders up in the zone a little bit, and it's not up enough. That's just off the plate, and it's 3-1. Harper didn't swing at that.
I don't know. But you're right, the ball that's up, and what we mean by that is it has to be up more towards the letters by the hands. That's an effective pitch up. The one that gets you hurt when we say the ball's up is belt high.
And this is popped up, shallow right center. Cargo, look out. I thought for a moment.
I did too.
He and Desmond didn't hear Cargo.
Let's go back to this at bat with Bryce Harper. First pitch was an 88-mile-an-hour slider, swinging 0-1. Then it was down and away, low 86, fastball 93, 2-1. Another slider at 86, 3-1. Slider gets him to pop up. Immediately he's yelling, but for Kyle, that was winning that battle. Now you got one more with Ryan Zimmerman.
Zimmerman got a fastball and hit it very hard through the 5.5 hole with 2 outs in the first inning. Just his 5th hit of the year. He had probably the best year of his career last year after several declining years. That's a great example of what you were just talking about, Huey. That pitch was elevated in the strike zone, pretty close to above the hands. And you'd see Zimmerman, it was hard to get on top of it.
Right, you can't. If the ball looks inviting, you want to try to get your hands up to do it. but there's a ball up that's good, and then there's also a ball up that's bad. And as I described, the one at the belt is bad, the one up by the hands is good.
So basically be down or be up, don't be in the middle.
Yes.
Ball and a strike on Zimmerman. This ball's got to turn foul, and it will.
Whew. I was just watching Ryan Zimmerman off the bat. You knew it was going to be far enough, but he didn't move. And he didn't pull the Carlton fist where he was trying to, motion it to be fair. He knew it was hooking.
Backdoor slider.
I think so.
Here's where the evolution of his curveball.
Because look where everything's been so far
right
in the Subaru strike zone.
But the evolution of his curveball, he'll open a count occasionally with it. He doesn't want to finish a count against a hitter like this with his curveball. The confidence isn't there yet. This ball to center field. Desmond is there. Great job of pitching Kyle Freeland. He works out of it, and he got that down far enough he couldn't get hurt. Terrific job for Freeland. No, actually, Bryce Harper's the only other person I know of other than myself who uses two blow dryers. Here's Gerardo Parra, and change up 1-1.
I just like the look that he gave his brother, like, come on, man. But isn't that what brothers are supposed to do? I mean, you got to throw your brother under the bus. Doesn't matter who he is.
Exactly. Parra, Arenado, Gonzalez against Roark here in the fourth. Rockies looking for their first hit. Tanner Roark from Illinois. He's an all-state baseball player. He was also an all-state quarterback in Illinois.
25th round by Texas in 2008. 25th. That's like just 753rd guy taken overall.
Usually you're not getting a high school kid to sign, drafting him there.
Now, giving him a little bit of money, though. That was prior to the having the scale where you can pay guys.
The slotting.
The slotting, yeah.
If you go over slot, then it takes money away from where you go in a different slot.
Yeah.
Yeah. He actually pitched prior to getting drafted that year in the Frontier League, which is an independent league. Pitched for the Southern Illinois Miners a few games, and then in the June draft was selected and signed with Texas. Couple hits last night for Gerardo. Rockies' last 3 victories on the road, all consecutive, going back to in San Diego, and of course last night Chad Bettis 7 strong. The starters have allowed just 1 earned run.
That was a home run last night. So the Southern Illinois Miners are still in existence. They're in Marion, Illinois.
There's a federal penitentiary in Marion. You don't want to get confused
that's
where you're going.
Right. Make sure you take the right, not the left.
Exactly. There's a team in Sauget, Illinois, also right across the Mississippi River in the Frontier League. You're laughing. You can look it up.
No, I know.
For those that don't know, some of those independent leagues are really strong basemen.
Oh, they are.
See ex-big leaguers, and you see some guys that end up eventually getting back sometimes to the big leagues.
Steven Cardullo.
Steven Cardullo is an example.
And I know now, too, they're trying to fill some of the rosters with guys that have just been released out of spring training.
Most famous independent team, probably the St. Paul Saints. They have a brand new stadium in downtown St. Paul. It is flat, gorgeous. Saw it a couple of years ago. 2-2, 3-2. Great AB going here for Gerardo.
Well, he might have caught a break according to Subaru strike zone.
Yeah, that looked like it at the inside corner. This next pitch will be number 11. And again, the Rockies don't have a hit, but there's some similarities to their approach with Roark to last night with Gio Gonzalez running his pitch count up. Is going to go out of play.
These are the ones for the pitchers, too. They're sitting there going, man, I've thrown you everything in the book. I don't know where to throw it. You fouled off good pitches. You've taken some. For a hitter, too, after fouling off so many in your mind, you think any ball that comes up there, you're going to be able to foul off. That's just a spray chart on the Subaru strike zone.
Number 12. And Bryce Harper retreats but has a play, 1 out. Folks, if the Rockies score 7 runs tonight, go to participating Taco Bell locations tomorrow. Do it between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Live Moz at Taco Bell. So here's Nolan facing a guy who is his teammate a little more than a year ago on Team USA at the WBC. Gold medal winning teammates.
Got off to a slow start last year, did Tanner Roark. Prior to the All-Star break, 17 games. Got a 5.27 ERA. And he somewhat admitted that the WBC might have had something to do with that. But then after the All-Star break, a 3.90 ERA. I think if you were to poll all the general managers and they could to say how they truly felt. I think a lot of them would be like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the WBC because of the risk for injury and guys having to get ready early. I think it's good globally for the game, but you always worry about your investment.
Trey Turner, outfield grass. 2 outs. We saw Mike Rizzo a moment ago, Jeff Bridich. I mean, when you have players going to the WBC, you're sitting on pins and needles because, truth be told, as important as spring training is to get guys prepared for the 162-game marathon, these guys come in such great shape anymore that all you're hoping during spring training is, get your work in, but stay healthy.
Don't get hurt. Do not get hurt. That's what you're saying.
Cargo popped to short his first time. The only base runner for the Rockies, Nolan Arenado, in the first, threw a walk after a lengthy AB. This ball clicked to deep center field. Did Cargo get it? Take a good look. You won't see it for long. 1-0 Colorado. That's a nice first hit.
Yes, it is. Cargo 9 for 29 off of right-handed pitchers this year.
You and I were talking before the ball game. Cargo was in the cage. And we looked at each other and said, tonight may be a good night for a 3-run jack from Cargo. It's always a good night, you know what I mean, but
sure.
And he comes through with a solo shot here, 2 outs in the 4th. Again, the Rockies' first hit of the night.
Subaru's Supermo, that is on the sweet spot of the bat. And unlike when Ryan Zimmerman hit his, I was watching him and he didn't move. Once Cargo dropped his bat in classic Cargo fashion, then it was a matter of how far it went.
Third big fly for Cargo. The Rockies score first. When they score first this year, they're 6-2. Outside on Iannetta.
It's now their 20th home run as a team.
Which they came into the night. It's called a strikedown at first base by Gabe Morales. 2-2. They came into the game tied with the Cardinals for the top spot in the National League with 19 home runs each.
Well, the Angels had 22. They lead.
This is to Kendrick and left. The interesting thing is the Rockies, I think they're 10th in the National League in home runs a year ago with 192. Cargo to dead center, 1-0 Colorado. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Who's that, George? Did George win?
No, George won last night. Let's get old Tom.
Oh, TJ.
Yeah.
You want to know why he won today? Because TJ was born on April 13th.
Oh, that's not fair. That is not fair. That's not cool, Teddy.
Teddy checked Abe into the boards.
Yeah. It's like what happened to the Capitals last night here in Washington.
You can look this up. Thomas Jefferson was born April 13th. It's his birthday. Ought to win tonight.
Well, you know who needs to win tomorrow? Abe Lincoln. Because tomorrow's the anniversary of when he went to Ford Theater.
You know that because
I went
to the Ford
today.
Theater.
Yes.
You went?
Yeah, he actually passed away on the 15th, but was shot on the 14th.
I hope he wins tomorrow.
Yeah, we should win both days, Saturday and Sunday.
I agree. Kendrick bounces one to short. Good aggressive play by Trevor Story. 1 out.
Second ground ball out tonight for Kyle.
And then fly balls and punch outs. 4 strikeouts so far for Kyle. He's got a 1-0 lead. I'll bring up Michael Taylor, who struck out twice and won at bat against. Keep going back to that pitch. His first time. Evidently just a little bit low, 2-0, close.
Thing that's getting Kyle now is pitch count. Next pitch will be number 70.
This is out of play.
He's worked out of some trouble. Really last inning, we had first and second. You had Bryce Harper and Ryan Zimmer who kept a couple fly balls. Good velocity.
Well, the bullpen pretty well rested because they got to watch Chad Bettis throw 7 one-run innings last night. Foul. Rockies utilized Brian Shaw in the 8th and Jake McGee in the 9th yesterday.
Chad last night, his career 2-0 in 5 games, 3 starts against the Nationals, and that was his 7th career game where he had at least 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run or less.
I like that pitch. He didn't get a swing from Michael Taylor. That was a good looking pitch. Usually you're going to induce a swing there. 3-2 on Taylor. Got to hurry. Can run. And Nolan beats it by a step.
Another ground ball now for Kyle. Fans get on-demand access to the rooftop with the Rooftop Ballpark Pass. $96 for 8 games, and that includes concession credit. Choose the days and redeem your pass from your phone. Go to Rockies.com/pass for more information. Well, last year, Kyle was 5th in the National League at 54.9% in ground balls. This year, a little bit higher at 56.7.
Both numbers are great.
They are.
A lot of ground balls. That's why the Rockies are among the major league leaders
when
last couple of years in inducing ground balls.
Yeah, but when you have the defense behind you, Why not? Yet this year they've only made 3 errors.
Tied for first in baseball for best fielding percentage. 1-0 on Defoe. That's a strike, 1-1.
Well, and you're saying too, well, how many chances coming in over 500 total chances, 511, which was 5th most in the major leagues.
Changeup misses, 2-1. Two-one on the Dominican native, slider for a strike. Center field, right center, car goes there, and it's a 1-2-3 4th inning for Kyle Freeland. Rockies leading 1-0 on a Cargo home run. We'll go to the 5th. Outstanding pitching coach Steve Foster this evening. And Foster, you got to like what you see from Kyle Freeland again tonight. Ball's coming out of his hand.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball well. He's throwing more sliders than normal, but that seems to be the pitch he has really good command of, so it's good to see.
Yeah, and getting out of that last inning after first and second, you had Bryce Harper and Ryan Zimmerman. He did a really nice job of pitching there.
He really did. He stayed calm. He controlled his emotions. He kept, pitching near the strike zone, which with Bryce Harper at the plate, you have to do. You got to be close.
Hey, one more real quick one. How much do guys thrive and build on another teammate's performance? Last night you had the great outing from Chad Bettis, and now you're getting a similar type of outing from Kyle.
All these guys build off one another. I think they're very competitive, all 5 of our starters, and when Chad goes out and throws the way that he did, they get the opportunity to watch what he did and learn from it, and we're seeing Kyle do that tonight.
Hey, Steve, really appreciate the time. Good luck
Steve.
the rest of the way.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
Steve Foster, Rockies pitching coach. Rockies leading 1-0. Ian Desmond with a 2-1 count against his former teammate, Tanner Roark. Every night before the Rockies take batting practice, Desi's out visiting with some of his old teammates and a lot of fans. He has signed a ton of autographs the last couple of days. Strike 3. Third strikeout for Roark. Then I'll bring up Trevor Story. Trevor popped to short his first at bat. Rockies pitched well. The only hit he allowed last inning with 2 outs. Cargo hit one out to dead center.
It's the 3rd home run Tanner's given up.
This is going to be a tough play for Turner on the moves. Not going to get the very fleet Trevor Story, an infield hit, and now the hits are even. 2 for the Rockies, 2 for the Nationals.
For Trevor, he's now hit 10 of the 15 games the Rockies have played in. That little chopper, we know about his speed, gets down the line, high throw, didn't matter. He had that beat out anyway. Not much on that throw from Trey Turner. I think when he grabbed it, he had more of a changeup grip.
You could have had a Nolan Ryan grip, and he wasn't going to throw him
No,
out at that point, right?
No, but when a guy runs fast, so you start to speed up a little bit, so you know you have to get rid of the ball quickly and get that quick transfer, and that's when you'll go in and you'll grab the baseball with 3 or 4 fingers and almost like shot put it over to first.
Ball 1 on Ryan McMahon. Freeland on deck. 1 out in a 1-0 game. See how aggressive the Rockies are with Story at first. First time to the plate was league average about 1-3.
And Severino has a pretty strong arm too behind the plate.
That's what he was known for coming up.
And more of the catch and throw variety.
This is in the air to left, and Kendrick closing in foul ground makes the catch. Well, that eliminates the possibility of a stolen base now with Freeland coming up.
Yeah, you just put the anchor down now. Gonna flip the lineup over. I should say the anchor for a stolen base. You're still getting your secondary lead if that ball, the slider goes into the dirt. Then you would advance. You're not thinking right now about anything other than this lineup turning over. Out. Looked like it went off the toe of Kyle. Scotty Garrett coming out to give him some moral support. Oh, yes. That's his left foot, too, so we'll watch that. That's his drive foot, the one he pushes off the rubber on. They know Kyle can swing a little bit to flip the curveball up first pitch.
Two strikes on Freeland. Roar grabs it, and Freeland busting it up the line. Was within a stride of beating that out. Infield hit by Story. He's left aboard, middle of 5. Rockies up 1-0.
finish, and that was Chad Bettis' performance last night. You see 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, an earned run. I talked to Chad about it today. He said he really executed the game plan really well, worked in and out, elevated and changed eye levels when he needed to. I really wanted to ask him about the slide step changeup that he punched out Bryce Harper on. He said, you know what, to be honest with you, Sully, I didn't even make my mind up to do the slide step or quick pitch until I was going to throw the pitch, which I thought was pretty crazy. He said he talked to Chris Russin about doing the quick pitch. He said, when do you make up your mind? When do you decide? He said, sometimes I don't decide until I'm in the middle of it. So I thought that was pretty cool, guys.
That is really funny because it takes me back to a story that Chris would tell during the Winter Caravan about the quick pitch. And obviously we remember the one against Justin Turner to strike him out where Turner was so mad last year. But there was one in Texas a couple years ago where Tony Walters had his head down, and Chris is quick pitching, and he lets go of the ball and realizes Tony's head's still down, and he, in his mind, was trying to tell Tony to pick his head up because the ball's coming to the plate. Tony looks up right at the last second. It goes into his glove, strike 3.
Just as he planned.
I was like, oh my goodness. But to your point, Sully, he didn't know or doesn't know when he's going to do it. He just does it.
Here's Pedro Severino, 8-9-1 in the 5th inning against Kyle Freeland, and that's a feeble swing as we got a pitch that you don't see him throw, Mapuche. Threw him the curveball.
But what'd you get? You got a weak, feeble swing.
He opened up the count with it. Now here's the 0-1. And it's 0-2.
And just watching Kyle after he fouled that ball off his foot, we said, well, that's his push-off foot, and you got to be careful. Well, after watching him run down the line, I don't even think that's an issue. There was no limping. He was sprinting so hard out of the box.
Yeah, Steve Foster would probably rather see him jog lightly to first base in that situation, but that's Freeland. He does everything at 100 miles an hour. Played by Story to get Severino one out, and that'll bring up Roark. Last inning plus, you're seeing more balls on the ground, which you typically do with Kyle out there. He has been terrific. 2 walks, 2 hits, single by Zimmerman through the left side. Trey Turner hit the ball well. He had a double over the head of Ian Desmond.
Well, 3 of the last 4 outs have been on the ground. 2 to Trevor, 1 to Nolan. Pitches tonight for Kyle. 49 strikes, 34 balls.
There's more of a sprint mentality with starting pitching today than certainly a couple of generations ago, but even when you were playing, Huey, and I'm not making you ancient, I mean, you got out of the game, in the last 20 years. Less than the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is instead of pacing yourself where, maybe you stuck around, Cargo's coming hard, I don't think he's going to get there. And it's a bloop single for Roark.
No, but I know where you're going. It's okay. Go as hard and as fast as you can. If it's 5 innings, 6 innings, and let's flip this over to the bullpen.
And there's so much more focus on the bullpens and being strong down there than ever before. What the Rockies bullpen looks like, and much attention was spent on that. There's nothing you can do there.
No, it was just off the end of the bat. Cargo was charging. He was playing over on the line.
Turner takes a strike. Two hard hit balls tonight that I can count. Zimmerman hit his single sharply, and obviously the double by this man, Turner.
Scott Oberg now is getting loose in the Rockies bullpen. Tough guy to double up. You talk about Trey Turner's speed.
Two and one.
He has grounded into one double play this year.
He had a cycle against the Rockies last year at Coors Field. He's had good numbers against Colorado, 389 lifetime average. And that's outside, so it's 3 and 1 now with Rendon on deck.
That was his first cycle, the third cycle in Nats history.
And he lost him. So now 2 on, 1 out. That'll bring up Anthony Rendon. He's walked Rendon twice. Steve Foster's going to go out.
The first 20,000 fans through the gates on Sunday, April 22nd, will receive a 25th anniversary reusable Earth Day tote bag, and that's courtesy of MLB Network. This is the second visit tonight to the mound. Rockies have 4 left.
The mound visits, Bob Nightingale, outstanding national writer for USA Today.
I like reading his pieces.
Bobby, Jose Ortiz, they both do, Jorge Ortiz, I should say, both do a great job covering baseball for USA Today. And the early returns on the mound visits, last year there was more than 7 mound visits per game. It's been cut in half so far this year. And the length of baseball games are still a little over 3 hours. They've shaved about four minutes or so off of the average time of a game a year ago.
Well, we had a game the other night where there was no mound visits.
Yeah.
On either side.
1-0 on Rendon. 2 on, 1 out. Rockies leading 1-0 on a Cargo home run. And Freeland, who's been pumping strikes all night, has fallen behind 2-0 to Rendon.
But notice where he's missing. He's kind of missing everything on his arm side. So he's coming out of the delivery, opening up that right shoulder just a skosh.
Two, 1. And 2-2.
He's just on the phone. I think he's checking to make sure Scott's ready. But
that'd be for Zimmerman.
Right, that's
you're going to go left on left with
and that's
Harper
what
on deck.
That's what managers will do too. They'll relay that information down to the bullpen and to give those guys a heads up on what he's thinking and the direction he wants to go prior to it happening.
Solberg in his mind mentally can get ready for Ryan Zimmerman. This ball is pulled foul.
If you're Kyle, you take a deep breath. Know that the end is almost near, and if you can make one pitch, get that double play, things are great.
It's a guy you want to stay away from. If he works to the outer portion of the plate again, cutter slider. That's a foul ball.
But you're right, dude. That's where they win, and that's why he tried to hook it and fouled it off his toe. much walking around you do. You walk around, but you know how you, after you've hit your toe, you kind of curl your toes up. That's what you do in your cleats. The toe is back in, and he's just sitting there going, okay. Try to get some feeling back in it, much like what Kyle had to do.
Two on and one out. 2-2 to Rendon. Center field base hit. Now it's Roark running. And here's the throw toward the plate, and it'll be cut off. Roark stops at third base. So the bases are loaded for Bryce Harper.
Anthony Rendon is hitting 12 of the first 14 games for the Nats. Just reached out and poked that one to center. On the night for Bryce Harper, pop up to shortstop and a little shallow fly ball to right field.
Well, here we go. Freeland working, I'm sure, to his last hitter. And he gets a slider and a swing and a miss. Here's the 0-1. And it's hit late and foul. 2 strikes.
He's throwing him an 86-mile-an-hour slider and a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Got him to pop up his last at bat on a slider. And remember, there's not good speed at third, so even on a fly ball, it's not automatic that they're going to score a run because you got Roark, the pitcher, at third.
Here's the 0-2. Shift by Chris Ionetta. You're catching and you have a runner at third, especially in a tight game. You're focused to beat yourself, the glove to the baseball.
To the spot.
Yeah, to the spot is as sharp as it will be at any point in the game. 1 and 2. I don't think they're going to go out there again. Something moving away from Harper. He's right on top of the plate. In the air to Parra. He gets behind it. He can really throw. And they're going to send Roark. Throw on the way. Not going to get him. Ties it up. I thought for a moment that Bob Henry wouldn't send it.
Yeah, I didn't think he would either. But when Gerardo worked behind it, when he caught it, he had kind of overrun it, so he had to reach back over his head to make the catch. So watch it. He reaches back, just didn't get enough on that throw to get Roark, and I'm sure it would have mattered anyway because it was off the mark. But Roland wisely cuts it off.
So when we come back, there'll be 2 outs. Zimmerman will be at the plate in a 1-1 game. And Scott Oberg will be on the mound. with Trey Turner at second, Anthony Rendon at first, and he's going to face Scott Hoberg. He's hitting just 200 in the early going against Scott.
Scott just an inning in the San Diego series, couple strikeouts.
Slider for strike one. This is bounced to short, and Story will throw out Zimmerman. So the Rockies allow a run in the fifth. We'll go to the sixth in a 1-1 affair. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. We're a couple miles from the Capitol in Washington on a beautiful Friday evening. Temperature today rose to the low 80s in D.C.
Low humidity, too.
Yeah, it was great out. DJ in the top of the lineup here against Roark in the sixth. That's at the knees. Pitch hasn't been called a strike all night, but it was called there. Strike one. 0-1. Gerardo Parra, Nolan Arenado on deck. Not at the same time.
No,
guy's
it's
in the
not
hole.
allowed.
Yep. DJ after his 4-for-5 night. Fly ball to center field, the fly ball to left field. See the peach blossoms by the tidal basin, Jefferson Memorial today?
Cherry blossoms.
Cherry blossoms, did I call them peach
yeah.
blossoms? Same thing.
We're not in Georgia, but yeah, I saw the cherry blossoms. Beautiful, they smell nice too. Tanner Roark, 80 pitches. A little more efficient with his pitch count tonight. 53 strikes, just 27 balls.
Short, and it's just flat missed by Trey Turner.
Second error of the season on Trey. 7th overall by the Nats. Yeah, this is
That could be a huge break for the Rockies.
Yeah.
A routine play, and now you have the leadoff man on.
Hopper. He just didn't bend. That was a waist bend instead of a knee bend. Just tried to reach for it with his glove instead of working underneath the ball and catching the bottom half of the baseball. First time tonight that the Rockies have had the leadoff hitter on.
This wouldn't come from the bench, I wouldn't think, but let's see if Parra Tries to take a bunt with him here. I mean, with him, take it to the right side. He's swinging. Do that. That's even better. DJ is going to go first to third here. Who said bunt, Huey?
It did come out of my mouth, so it's somebody else's, and he didn't.
Now, how big was that error?
Right? Huge. First pitch. Rips it to right. DJ had to back off just a minute, but he knew because Harper went to his or towards the line that he wasn't going to be able to get a strong throw off to third. So this is DJ. He glances over his shoulder. He's not looking at Stu because he knows, he's made up in his mind, I'm going anyways, first and third, and we got Nolan at the plate with nobody out.
This is exactly what you'd want. A walk and a ground ball to short tonight for Arenado. Barr got back.
You got to be careful if you're Severino trying with the back pick to first, because as soon as he let that ball go, DJ came down the line.
Last night, the Rockies relied on DJ LeMahieu to hit the ball over the wall or come up with a 2-out double to drive in a run. The rest of the offense had opportunities but did not get even productive outs. 1 and 1.
Well, the Rockies left 8 guys on base last night.
They had second and third, nobody out, did not score. They had a leadoff double from DJ.
For all you
and didn't score.
Yeah, for all you softball fans out there, remember King in his court, just, you know, Eddie Feiner and the catcher and a couple other people. Last night it was DJ and Chad show.
That's what it was. 2 and 1.
Yeah, the Rocks were 0 for 11 last night with runners in scoring position. 4 for the last 33.
Yeah, DJ and Chad, as you said, masked what was, you know, on the offensive side. DJ by himself masked what was not a good performance, but you end up winning comfortably 5-1. 1-1, top of 6, first and third, nobody out. Down the line, that is just foul. Man, that was close.
Ben Mays had a couple close ones down at third today.
Nolan has the best view of anybody, and he didn't argue, and Ben May was right. It was foul.
If there's anybody you want right now, it is Nolan. Last year he had 32 go-ahead RBIs. Only second to Giancarlo Stanton, the MVP. Believe it or not, I know Nolan only has 6 RBIs, but he has 4 go-ahead this year. Is tied for second in the big leagues.
Nolan's gone to right quite a bit with 2 strikes because they've been pitching him away. Two, and this is popped up on the infield. 1 out.
Fans 2018 has special theme date ticket packages for everyone, including a Star Wars night, a Brewfest, Faith Day, and the newest theme nights, get this, Beatles tribute and Margaritaville tribute. Visit Rockies.com/theme dates for more information.
Well, now an enormous at bat with 1 out for Cargo. He gave the Rockies a 1-0 lead in the 4th with a 2-out home run to dead center.
And here was his home run in the 4th, first hit of the Rockies, and put him up 1-0 at the time. 3rd home run, 8th RBI of the season for Cargo.
1-0. Rockies just 3 hits. The Nationals only 4 hits. Book closed on Kyle Freeland, who had a high pitch count, but he threw the ball well tonight. 4 2/3, a run on 4 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts.
4 groundouts, 4 flyouts.
1-0. 2-0. Chris Ionetta's on deck. Have to find a way
You
to
do.
take the lead here.
Anytime a team gives you basically a free out, free base runner. That's what they did with the air, and then the base hit. You have first and third, nobody out. Then you get the pop up. You got to get at least that guy in from third, if not more.
3-0.
Might be a little bit of a pitch around after the home run with the right-hander and Chris Ionetta on deck.
I know what you're thinking. Far
Yeah.
more of a double play candidate.
Right on right.
Very top of the zone. 3-1.
The reason I say right on right, because righties have only had 2 hits off of Tanner, and one was just that infield single by Trevor.
That's all year. That's not
all year,
tonight.
yeah, exactly, all year.
It's time to change that narrative. 3-1. Cargo hits this ball in the air toward right center field, and it is caught out there. DJ will tag and come home, and the Rockies take a 2-1 lead. So a good at bat from Cargo, as he has driven in both runs. He ties Ian Desmond for the club lead now with 9 RBIs.
He did his job. Got it deep enough to allow DJ to tag up and trot home. See if he caught it off the end. I think he did, but he knew it was going to be deep enough. High fives all around. And again, it's not only the air that Trey Turner had, but then the base hit after that, allowing DJ to go first to third.
Strikeout and a fly ball to left for Ionetta. Parra extends his lead about a quarter step.
Well, it used to be the old rule of thumb is you tried to straddle where the cut of the grass was, where you take your right foot just past that. But anymore, you pretty much have to count the number of steps off there because the cuts are all different. Or in the real old days when they had that AstroTurf, it was always get one foot on the turf. That was what you wanted to do.
How'd you like to take your lead so you didn't get the quick pick?
Well, I got it while I set the tone as a base runner. I got my lead while he was still getting his sign. Because then I knew he couldn't focus on me and make the quick pitch over there.
Which means you have to get a sign if there was.
Yes, quickly.
From third base early. What other absolutes did you have in taking your lead, Huey?
Make sure I never got my feet right next to each other. I always stayed in an athletic position so I could move either way.
Can't click your heels.
No,
man.
can't be like Dorothy and clicking your heels and taking her home. It's you got to make sure you stay with your feet about a shoulder width apart.
So as you said, you're athletic going both ways. Parra takes off, and Severino's throw got it. In the inning, the Rockies take advantage of an error by Trey Turner. Cargo with a sac fly. 2-1 Rockies, middle of 6. was 4 2/3, but his stuff was really good. Just had a high pitch count. Only 4 hits. The single run he allowed was in that 5th inning. Scott Oberg got the final out of the 5th, and he stays on the mound to begin the 6th inning. Howie Kendrick, Michael Taylor, and the switch hitter Wilmer Defoe. The only guy I would guess is down tonight for the Rockies is Jake McGee. He's pitched 2 in a row.
I think then you would look at probably Adam Ottavino in that role, either in the 7th or 8th.
That is caught by DJ. And a line drive by Kendrick, 1 out. Yeah, you would think it would be Ottavino in the 7th, Shaw in the 8th, and Wade Davis in the 9th. On paper.
Michael Taylor on the night, strikeout looking, and a ground ball, 5-3. That was an interesting bunt attempt. Interesting in that he didn't pull the bat back because it was way inside.
If you're going to bunt for a hit, you probably want to bunt a strike, don't you?
Yeah. It's just like you want to swing at strikes. You want to bunt at strikes. I know it sounds elementary, but that's what you teach.
And he bunted a slider there that had a lot of movement. Good pitch by Ober. Great location. 2 strikes on Taylor.
Thank you.
Taylor just about almost saying, I don't think I can hit his stuff. I'm going to try to bunt my way on. Oh, 2.
Chris Russin just started to get loose.
Just kept it alive.
Taylor in his career against the Rockies, 6 for 37. It's a 162 batting average against.
So I was talking to Otto the other night. The Rockies just did something that I don't know if other teams have done this. That's downstairs, 2-2. They've added another bullpen catcher. They have a terrific one in Aaron Munoz. And Mooney's flying around. You have an extra arm in the bullpen typically now in baseball. So the Rockies added a guy that was playing in their system, Ashley Grader, who finished in Double-A last year. And so now there's an extra guy. This is lined to left, and it's caught out there by Parr. He hit it hard, 2 outs. And the reason I'm bringing that up is one of the last guys that I think Mooney or now Ashley Grader want to catch in the bullpen is Ober, because he throws so darn hard. And he's got that hard slider.
That's 2 catches tonight for Gerardo. And remember in the 1st inning, the first batter and Trey Turner, he had to go sliding and make a catch right off the grass. Those 2 hard hit balls off of Scott, but it's 2 outs. But I think it's smart to have 2 catchers down there, because remember what used to happen is you would see the backup catcher. If something were to happen, he'd have to come running in from the bullpen.
Absolutely.
But now tonight, you could get 2 guys going out there, and the Rockies do right now, in Shaw and Russin, and you have 2 catchers out there.
There's Mooney. And there's Aaron. Great. Or excuse me, Ashley Grader. Two 2-0 on Wilmer Defoe with 2 outs. That's off the plate, 3-0. Two-one Colorado. That misses.
First walk tonight for Scott. I think if you're Scott, you're going to give Severino a pretty heavy dose of sliders.
Defoe's a guy that ran quite a bit in the minor leagues. At the bottom of the order, but it's probably not a bad place to run potentially, because if he is thrown out in the 7th inning, if Roark does stay out there, they're going to pinch hit.
Well, they
in the
already
9-hole.
they already have Sierra in the on-deck circle. Roark has 96 pitches.
There's a slider for a strike. As you mentioned, there is Moises Sierra. Pulled to third. That's a good place to hit it. Nolan throws him out. Great job, Scott Oberg. We move on to inning number 7. The Rockies leading the Nationals 2-1. The Rockies did not have a hit with 2 outs in the 4th when Cargo left the building. His 3rd of the year, 1-0. And then Harper hit a fly ball down the left field line. That's Roark running, and he was able to make it 1-1. Rockies took advantage of an error. Cargo came up again, 1st and 3rd. He got the sac fly out to Harper, and that's where we stand. 2-1 Colorado. As we go to the 7th inning, all kinds of changes now for Washington. And we'll begin with Kinsler's on the mound. Defoe goes from 2nd to 3rd. Howie Kendrick comes from left field to 2nd. We'll get to him in a moment. Moises Sierra comes in the ballgame in left field. And now Howie, as I said, goes from left field to 2nd base. The Rockies have Iannetta back at the plate. He was up there when Parra tried to swipe 2nd base and was cut down. Brandon Kinsler with a lot of movement on his fastball.
Yeah, and he came back to the Washington bullpen after he was acquired from Minnesota just before the trade deadline last year. He had 28 saves for the Twins and became an all-star. Remember, they kind of went through that, well, we're not going to make the playoffs type of mode. We'll get rid of some guys. Oh, yeah, how'd that work out? They traded some guys and still made it.
And they still made it.
Yeah. On the year, 6 games, 0-2. Unsightly ERA at 12.6.
So their bullpen has an ERA close to 6 coming in. Iannetta fouls it off.
Yeah, which was the 5th worst in the major leagues. And I'm just looking at this, and they took Anthony Rendon out of the lineup.
Yeah,
I think, you remember when he fouled the ball off his toe or off his foot in his last at bat before he got the base hit?
Yeah, something's up because you would not take Rendon out of the game.
No, that's what I'm saying. When he fouled that ball, remember, because he was walking around and
Called strike to end the at bat for Iannetta. 1 out. And that'll bring up Ian Desmond.
as soon as we hear an official word on that, we'll let you know. But I guarantee you that's what it is. Dave Martinez. You don't take your number 2 place hitter, your 6th in the MVP voting last year, out of the lineup unless something's wrong on a double switch.
Oh and 1. Desmond popped to second, and he was caught looking. Up and in.
Careful.
We talked about it with Ian the other day. He just started wearing that protection to the side of his face like so many players are doing now. Chris Iannetta was hit in the face, and we asked Ian why he decided to do it, which I think everybody's going to do in a few years.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, I was talking to my wife, and I was like, should I wait till I get hit in the face to do it? He goes, I might as well do it now. And you have to order the helmet, so it takes a little bit for it to get in.
So we said this one doesn't fit quite as well as the other one without the guard. But I think the biggest thing is, does it impair your sight line? And he said no. And so I'm with you, Drew. I think pretty soon everybody will do it. It's like the NHL when they said, well, mandatory for visors unless you're grandfathered in.
Now everybody wears a half shield.
Yeah, everybody wears a half shield.
And again, Desi gets caught looking at the bottom of the zone. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Story.
We got our attendance tonight, Drew. 32,710.
Well, it's the weekend. Much better than last night. 24,000 and change here.
Well, it was also Sean Doolittle bobblehead night.
That's right. Story an infield hit in the 5th. He's 1 for 2.
The final line on Tanner Roark: 6 innings, 2 runs, only 1 of those were earned. 3 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Gave up that home run to Cargo. 96 pitches.
Here's the 1-1. Brian Shaw is warming. Just missed. 2-2. In the bottom of the 7th inning, Washington will have Sierra, Turner, and a pinch hitter. Actually, let me correct that. They're going to have a pinch hitter, Turner, and then Sierra. They put Sierra in the 2 spot. Down the line, Bifo just did get Story. So the Rockies go in order in the 7th. They lead at Nationals Park 2-1. For Major League Baseball in New York. Here are the suspensions. Perdomo 5 games. Bowman got a game. And then for the Rockies, Nolan Arenado got 5. Gerardo Parra got 4. They could play tonight because they're both appealing their suspensions. There were other fines as well. Here's what Nolan had to say upon hearing about the suspension.
5 games, a lot of games, and I'm just defending myself. It's hard not to react a certain way when you know someone's trying to do something on purpose, but it is what it is. Obviously, if like I said, 5 games, I mean, you're not going out there. You don't want to, charge them. You don't want to fight. That's not why we're playing this game. But 96 at you on purpose can frustrate, I think, a lot of people. So.
And again, the players are appealing right now. They can always rescind their appeal. Both players will not serve their suspension at the same time. 2-0 on Matt Adams, the pinch hitter.
Well, that'd be unfair.
It'd be unfair. You wouldn't, because then you're down 2 bodies.
Because you can't replace him on the roster.
Right. You have to be strategic about it. And one of the other factors is that is a wicked cutter, 2-1, is right now Charlie Blackmon remains in a day-to-day situation. So the Rockies are somewhat a man down as it stands.
And you're only carrying 4 guys on your bench, and one of those is a catcher. So if he's not able to go and then you start the suspension, now you're really playing with a 1-man bench.
And Corey, you and I were discussing it with Jeff earlier today. There's a lot of things that there's a strikeout Adams one out there that the Rockies will consider. Hopefully you hope that each player gets it reduced by a game. That seems to be normally what takes place. And then picking the games. And you can't pick them a month out. You're going to have to at some point in the very near term do it. But there's a couple ways they can go, isn't that right?
Yeah, there's definitely a couple ways they can go. I think you have to look at matchups. You have a right-hander and a left-hander that are suspended. You have to look at who's coming up and starting pitching. A lot of things are going to factor into how they go about it. We heard Nolan go on to say that he was going to meet with, general manager Jeff Bridich and Bud Black, and they're going to try and map this thing out as well they can to put themselves in a good position.
Right now, they feel like they're in a good position when Brian Shaw has the baseball. Here's the 0-1. Now it's 0-2 on Trey Turner. He's throwing that cutter 95, 96. That last year, you know, he threw the cutter around 91, 90. He's throwing it even harder than he did a year ago in Cleveland, and you know how successful he was with the Indians.
Yeah, he's called time right now. A baseball's escape came onto the field when it wasn't allowed to, and so Gerardo, being the nice guy, just flips it up into the stands.
I don't know how he didn't swing at that.
I don't either. But this is the 9th time this year for Brian Shaw, and last year was 70 times he made the relief appearance. He's tied with Sam Freeman with most in the National League.
And Turner just did get a piece of that.
Mike Dunn is up in the Rockies bullpen. If anything, that might be for Bryce Harper.
Wow.
You can hear immediately Ron Kolpa say outside.
It is outside. I'm saying wow because I don't know how Trey Turner sees a pitch that looks like it's center cut and then cuts just off the plate. Doesn't offer at it with 2 strikes.
Throw it again out there. He will swing at it. That's too far.
Yep, 3-2.
Maybe he just says, I won't swing at it and hope that it stays off the plate.
That's foul.
That would have been a tough play even for the great Nolan Arenado. And Trey Turner running.
We saw it last year. You said it last year when we saw Turner. You line up him, D. Gordon, Billy Hamilton.
Remember Davey Lopes was saying that.
Yeah, Davey Lopes, who used to be the first base coach here, said, I'd love to see that race. He said, I do not know who would win. He goes, I'm not betting against my guy, I'll tell you that much. That's what he said about Trey Turner. That's how fast Turner is. 3-2. Got him. 95-mile-an-hour cutter, raised it in the zone. 2 strikeouts, 2 outs.
Everything away on the Subaru strike zone, then elevate for effectiveness. Not quite sure where Trey was looking. I think he was looking back out and away again. That's a loud phone if we can hear it all the way up here.
Strike 1 on Sierra. Strike 2 on Sierra.
96 again. He's feeling it tonight.
I guess. Yeah, good luck with a 96-mile-an-hour cutter. 0-2. That's a slider. Story's got it. And that's all. What an inning by Brian Shaw. You kidding me? We go to the 8th. The Rockies up 2-1.
season, and there's no better place for baseball than Denver. Get outside and enjoy your summer. Go Rockies.
How many takes was that?
Like 5, but
Yeah, it's like 5 or 6. 5 or 6, yeah. Okay, because Buddy said he did it in 5, and I'm supposed to try and beat Buddy. We're gonna tell him 4. Okay, all right, perfect.
Competitive in everything he does.
Right?
And this weekend is when they're going to break that out at DIA. Ryan McMahon against Sammy Solis, and Ryan fouls off the 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Solis one of 3 lefties in the bullpen for Washington, which includes their closer, Sean Doolittle.
Sammy has 9 strikeouts in his last 3 outings and 4 1/3.
Top of 8, 2-1 Colorado. Fastball's up 1-1. McMahon last year hit .355 between Hartford and Colorado Springs. Nobody in the high minor leagues had a higher batting average. 1-2. Struggling to get untracked here at the big league level this year. Reserve duty. And that's 1 out. Bring up Pat Valleca to pinch hit.
As we were talking about Sammy Solis' 7th ball game. A lot of strikeouts when you're talking about just 5 innings, now 5 1/3 worth of work. 11 strikeouts, only 3 walks. All these young guys are trying to get on track.
Yeah,
Ryan McMahon now 1 for 20. We know Pat got a knock the other night. Got a base hit too, so he's got a couple hits on the year. Mike Talkman's still looking for his.
Well, last night we were all, having a conversation late last night, me, you, and Sully, and this ball's up the middle, but it's right at Howie Kendrick. 2 out. The Rockies are 7-7. As a club, they came into tonight hitting in the low 230s. The role players, the McMahons, the Vallecas, the Walters, the Talkmans, obviously have really struggled at the plate so far. You add up all of those numbers and you say, wait a second, this club's at 500?
Right.
I look at that, and I know you do, and Sully as well. That's a real positive, because clearly the Rockies have not hit their stride offensively or anywhere close to it, and yet you've played, 500 baseball.
Yeah, and your pinch hit numbers will go up too. Right now they're just 1 for 26, but that'll change too as you get deeper into the season.
LeMahieu reached on a Trey Turner error leading off the 6th inning and would eventually score on a sac fly by Cargo. That's the difference right now in the game. 2-1 Colorado. The Rockies 3 hits, and the Nationals just 4 hits. And Cargo has driven in both runs. He had a home run earlier in the ball game, and that's strike 3. So a 1-2-3 8th inning for Solis. 2-1 Colorado. Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. That's the White House, Huey, you were asking earlier.
I was there today. Took a selfie in front of it.
You were?
Yeah. They got as close as I could. Now it's kind of double-barreled there with fencing and Secret Service.
Double barrels looking at you.
Well, they were up on the roof because I spotted them up on the roof. Yeah, I got a selfie in front of the White House today. Who doesn't do that? 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Why don't you ask one of the other tourists to take a picture of you and Wendy? Well, you have long arms, so the selfie's like
selfie's fine. We have our own selfie stick with our long arms.
This may be for one hitter.
Yes,
Mike Dunn to face Bryce Harper.
3 for 20 is Harper against Dunn.
Well, they were in the same division. Remember that for a long time when Dunn was applying his craft for the Marlins.
Yeah, and so that's why he's here. And then you're going to get Adam Ottavino after this for the right-hander. So you're just focusing. You're just thinking, this guy, that's all I got to do.
Boy, how about that?
That tells you something about his confidence against Mike, but also where he is offensively. That he thought about just trying to lay down a bunt to get on in a 2-1 game.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy, as you know, who can hit it out of the stadium. And it's a one-run game. He tried to bunt his way on. 1-1. 1-2. I'm still marveling that inning Brian Shaw threw. 95-96 with his cutter. Let's not forget the job Scott Oberg did also.
Inning in the third for Scott. He did have the walk. Got help with a couple of line outs, one to DJ, and then that line out to Gerardo. But it was a clean inning in the third.
And a weak ground ball to short. Story's got it. Mike Dunn does his job, and Bud Black bounds out of the dugout. He's going to slap Mike on the back and call for Adam Ottavino. Again, no Jake McGee tonight. He's worked the last 2 days, so it's a combination of guys here in the 8th, protecting a 2-1 lead.
Here in our nation's capital, bottom of the 8th inning, and I think anytime you go into a series, you've got to contain the big guy. And talking about Bryce Harper, first it was a pop-up to shortstop, and then another fly ball to right field. And even when the game is tight, he does get the sacrifice fly to score their lone run, but then that last out was a ground ball out. So in this series for Bryce Harper, he's 0 for 7. In his last 19 plate appearances for Bryce Harper, he's 0 for 18. He does have that lone sac fly, and that's it.
Rockies have done a marvelous job against one of the best players in the game.
And that's hard when you're talking about Bryce Harper and trying to keep him corralled. Adam Ottavino on the year, 16 strikeouts. No, that is not a mistake, folks. It's second among all relievers. Multiple strikeouts in 6 of his appearances, including 3 strikeouts 3 times in an inning.
He just locked up Zimmerman with that slider, 0-2. Ottavino wanted the fastball. That's high at 95, 1-2.
With Adam, if he has missed this year, the next pitch, he gets right back dialed in again.
This is line foul late. You had 2 baseballs working in opposite directions with Ottavino. You have the dramatic movement on his slider from right to left, and then his fastball in the mid-90s moves about 6-7 inches back toward a right-handed hitter. 2-2.
And he's got the frisbee slider.
Described it before. He's really got he's got 3 sliders, and they all do something a little different. He has one that, you know, moves a little more side to side. He has one that has quite a bit of depth, takes a little bit off. Another one like that. Strike 3. Zimmerman knew it. Nothing you could do. I mean, it has to be the most uncomfortable at bat for a right-handed hitter. 17 strikeouts now for Otto.
You're saying stay in, stay in, stay in, but as the ball's coming to you, what's your first reaction? Get out of there. And then he throws a slider.
And now Howie Kendrick, 0 for 3 tonight, lined to second in his previous at bat. (2-1) Colorado. If you like good pitching, you've seen it on display tonight. Roark was very good, starter for Washington. Kyle Freeland was good for the Rockies. Swung on and missed. 1-2 with 2 outs. Kendrick in 10-game hitting streak coming in. His final game last year, so it's an 11-game run. 1-2. See you later. Blew him away. Boy, has he been something else.
Been a treat.
He has been remarkably good. We'll go to the ninth. 2-1 Rockies. Gerardo Parra is going to lead off. Adam Ottavino has been literally unhittable. I mean, if you foul a ball off against him right now, you should like take a victory lap.
Excuse me, 18 strikeouts, and credit him with 1 extra. 18 strikeouts for Otto in 8 2/3.
Parra 2 hits last night. He has a hit tonight. Parra, Arenado, and Cargo, and that's back up the middle. Another 2-hit night for Gerardo. Starting to get that swing in a groove.
You don't want to miss the action when the Chicago Cubs make their only 2018 appearance at Coors Field, April 20th through the 22nd. Purchase your tickets online at Rockies.com.
The Rockies can get an insurance run for Wade Davis in the 9th. Nolan a walk, a ground ball to short, and a pop to first. Last year plus, he's hit .420 against left-handed pitching.
He's 8 for 20 on the homestand.
Those balls, when Nolan gets locked in, truly locked in, those balls are going to be driven really far.
You won't miss them.
A couple pitches that I'm sure he will tell you that he should have put in play with authority. Instead, he fouled them off. He's getting the Helton wand work down, isn't he?
You mean it's the ball is close enough to the plate, you don't want to take it, but you know it's not a strike, so you just foul it off, that one?
That one.
Okay.
Nolan last year hit 16 home runs against lefties. That's a club record. Starting pitchers now, because Freeland allowed just 1 run naturally. Last 4 road starts for the Rockies, the starters have allowed 2 runs. That's it.
24 2/3.
Rockies trying to win for the 4th straight time out on the road. Improved to 6-3 away from Coors Field. That set the stage for an 87-win season last year, and at one point being 21 games above 500. Their work, especially in the first half, on the road for Buddy Black.
I know they're going to get their wins at home.
Yep.
We know 2 and 4 is not how they wanted to start that last homestand, or their first homestand of the season. The last one.
Well, last year, initially, the first part of April, they didn't hit it home either.
Their first homestand last year, they were 3 and 3.
Nolan swings and misses. And there's 1 out, and that'll bring up Cargo, who's driven in both runs tonight.
A little off on the oh yes, he did on the Subaru Supermo. Oh, that had some heavy action.
Good curveball.
That's a real good curveball.
Cargo popped to short, a home run to dead center, and a sac fly to deep right center. Fargo with a base hit. And Parra, he'll go first to third. So with one out, the Rockies now with a real nice opportunity to get a third run. And Dave Martinez with Chris Iannetta coming up, followed by two other righties. He's going to remove the left-hander Solis.
Fargo with a broken bat single to right field. Chance for the Rockies to tack on a run or two.
Receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more in a game. Chris Iannetta getting ready to come up against Trevor Gott. We saw Gott last night. He threw 2 scoreless innings. 2 nights ago. Yeah, 2 nights ago, if you remember, the Washington Nationals played a 12-inning game against Atlanta, and their bullpen was pretty taxed. Gott picked up 2 yesterday. He's back in there tonight. First and third for the Rockies. 1 out in the top of the 9th. And Iannetta will be doing all he can to get Gerardo Parra in.
Gott's got a pretty hard fastball. It's mid-90s. It will run back into a right-handed hitter, though. Look for Chris to maybe jump one early.
He did. He's got a fastball in.
You could just, with that arm action, that ball will come back. That slinging action.
Good one to stay off of. Fargo at first. 2-1. 2 singles in the inning.
Well, both of them by left-handers off the arm of the left-hander in Solis.
Now 3-1.
We got dancing all over the corners. Gerardo at third was dancing down the line. Cargo at first took a couple false steps like he was going to steal. He's trying to distract either the pitcher or the catcher.
3-1 on Iannetta. Two on Chris. think Cargo goes here?
He might, and if he does, he's got to peek to see if he's going to get thrown out. He might stop and try to get in a rundown and let Gerardo score.
He's going. Strike 3, no throw. Second stolen base for Gonzalez.
Chris wasn't happy with this swing, and it's not that he swung at it, he didn't like the location of it. He thought it was up and away. He'll turn around and start to bark at Ron Kulpa.
Ian Desmond trying to burn his old team. And not going to happen here. Ground ball to second. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. The Rockies strand 2 in scoring position. 2-1 Colorado. Wade Davis will try to close it down.
Season game live on over 400 supported devices. Visit MLB.tv for more details. Well, here we go, folks. Bottom of the ninth. Rockies ahead 2-1. Closer Wade Davis is in. Wade 5 for 6 in save opportunities. The one that he blew, the Rockies ended up winning that ball game. Penn's hitting 167 against Wade.
And he's going to get Michael Taylor, Wilmer Defoe, and Pedro Severino. Taylor tonight, a strikeout, a ground ball to third, and a line drive to left in which Gerardo Parra made a nice sliding catch on. Well, that looked like a cross-up, and you go, well, how can somebody get crossed up? There's nobody on base. Well, every once in a while, the Rockies, because everybody's so leery of signs being stolen.
That was a cross-up.
Will flash with nobody on base, or you know, even with a runner on but not at second, we'll use multiple signs.
Starting to see it more and more.
Yeah, with a lot of teams. Chris had one he described for us before the ball game last night with Bettis. Remember, there was a couple times he got tied up. Well, he got crossed up a couple times, but there was one time he said a curveball caught instead of having downward action. It's just a little bit low, 2-1.
Yeah, so even if you call it, you know it's coming, but it doesn't
do what you're expecting it to do.
You're still going to miss it, yeah.
And he was able to catch all of them. It shows you how good his hands are. 2-1 Colorado, 2-1 on Taylor, leading off the bottom of the ninth for Washington. Here's the 3-1, and just threw it by him at 94, 3-2.
He challenged him again in the same spot. You know, too, for the Nationals, they don't have to go very far for a scouting report. All they have to do is go to Dave Martinez, who was a bench coach last year in Chicago, and Wade was saving all those games there.
That's right. Kevin Long right on his hip. To his left, the hitting coach. 3-2 again. Got him on a slider.
Back from a down 3-1. Get the swing through on the 3-2, and then a foul ball, and then just an absolute dirty slider. Think about some of the sliders that the Washington Nationals have had to deal with tonight. You've got Otto's slider, and you've got that slider.
And you have the Shaw cutter at 96.
Forgot about that one.
Defoe 0 for 2 and a walk tonight. Last outing for Davis was in the Brawl-Mart game on Wednesday, and he had a quick 1-2-3 night to shut that one down. Cutter, and it was swung on and missed, 1-1.
Wade kicked the dirt a little bit on the mound. He's been in these situations numerous times. Calm, cool, and collected.
It's outside, 2-1. The pen so far tonight, 3 2/3. No hits allowed. A walk, 5 strikeouts. Last hit for Washington was a single by Anthony Rendon in the 5th up the middle. 3-2, back-to-back hitters. It's so strange to see a multitude of signs.
Yes, it is, right?
With nobody on. 3-2 on the ground to Nolan, the only guy on that side of the field. And they're 2 outs. Pedro Severino will not hit. It'll be Matt Wieters, the switch hitting veteran catcher.
That's 10 for 27, as you see on the numbers there against Wade.
And again, the Rockies will put 3 on the right side for Wieters. 2 outs in the 9th. Copa said inside, indeed it was. Scott Oberg in line for the victory if Wade can get one more out.
You know, if Wieters reaches up, pinch run, Goodwin's hurt.
Brian Goodwin may be able to run though. He's got a thumb injury, but he may be able to run, and Reynolds would pinch hit.
Let's hope it doesn't get to that point.
Hopefully,
right?
It matters little.
That's right. Hopefully, in one more pitch, Wade is shaking hands, and Rocky's coming away with a victory in his 6th save.
2-1 the count on Waiters. Two and two. It's 2014 when he became a full-time reliever. Wade Davis's ERA is 150, which is best in the sport. 2 and 2 with 2 outs.
So that's 84 saves over that time, 23 wins.
Another 2 and 2. Down the line foul. Moved it a long way.
Long strike.
Does not look too excited about getting that baseball.
He sure didn't.
He's got him. Ball game over, and the Rockies win it 2-1. 2 straight to start the trip. 2 straight against a 97-win team from a year ago. Cargo a big night, a home run, a couple of hits, a couple of RBIs. And the Rockies prevail 2-1. What a marvelous job by the bullpen. Oberg gets the win. Save number 6 for Wade Davis. 2-1 Colorado as we go to Jenny and Spilly in the studio.